Hi, everyone. It's John Galante, president of AE Ventures, and I'm here with another in our series of Builder Innovator webcasts. Today, we have an awesome opportunity to hear from some builders who've been working with the fine folks at Levven. I think this electrical category and lighting category is one that is, pardon the pun, really lit up for builders. It really is. There's so much to do in this space, and like I said, I think everyone understands there's different kinds of effects and conveniences that can be delivered. Maybe not in every case are we thinking about the bottom line effect for the builders, but I think that's been a real strong focus for Levven. So I'm going to start with you, Jeremy Kitzmiller, who you're the purchasing manager with Twilight Homes. Tell us a little bit about what you do at Twilight.
I'm a pretty much do a little bit of everything kind of role here at Twilight. We're a small local builder here in New Mexico. We're the largest local builder, but compared to the big boys, we're not quite up there yet. We average about let's say between 150 to 200 homes, all sides of the spectrum, entry level to full blown custom $1 billion homes.
And in New Mexico, are you greater Albuquerque or what? Do you cover the whole state?
Yes, we're a little bit of everything. So I'm Rio Rancho, Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and we're looking south and north now to kind of expand a little bit as well.
Excellent. Thanks for the information. Marcos Garcia, you are the director of sales at Carefree Homes. Tell us a little bit more about Carefree Homes and what you do.
So here at Carefree Homes, we got two products. We have Carefree and Definitive. Definitives are more semi-custom lineup, but we are one of the largest tract builders here in El Paso, Texas. We build about 330 homes a year on average. So for us, it's all about volume. We don't stop building houses, and if we're not closing, 27 to 30 houses a month, then it's going to hurt us on the back end. For us, we really have to make sure we're hitting our volume numbers to make it up on the back end with our profits and whatnot. So for us, it's all about trying to make sure things run smoothly, buyers are happy, and that the product sells. The product sells well.
And what market band are you serving? Are you a starter, move up, second time move up? What maybe multiple bands? Where are you?
So we're a little bit of everything. We're great for the first-time home buyer, and we actually get a ton of buyers who come back for second and third purchases and kind of look for their forever home. Thankfully, we have products as small as 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and we go all the way up to 5, 6-bedroom houses, 3-car garages. So we try to make sure we hit all bases here in El Paso.
Got you. Jeremy, I didn't ask you that question. Where are you guys from a market band perspective?
So our goal is, since we're local, we can pivot pretty quickly compared to like the big boys, you know what I mean? So I have entry level, first home out of the apartment. And our mission is that you are able to step up all the way to that full blown custom, grandkids, all that type of stuff. You got space. So I'm all into the market from the high 200 to 5 million if you want.
Very good. Okay, well, let's turn it over to our sponsor for this session, to Sean Vo, who I've known for a number of years in his various roles with technology companies, but you're in a lead sales role with Levven now. Tell us a little bit more about your role in Levven, and then let's dive in to the unique value proposition that Levven offers to buyers and builders.
Absolutely. I'm the National Director of Sales and Strategic Partnerships here at Levven, and I manage everything south of the Canadian border. We're based in Edmonton, Alberta, and so that means that we do the plastic molds in Edmonton itself. We do the PC board configuration in Edmonton, and everything that happens south of the Canadian border, I'm in charge of. For the strategic partnership bit, I do take a look at other vendors, other manufacturers, and where we really fit in, and how we can help each other out, create an ecosystem, and deliver the best value to homeowners that we can.
Tell me a little bit more about Levven. How long has it been around, the founding of and development of the company? Give me a little quick backgrounder on that.
Absolutely. James Kierstead actually started off in manufacturing for hot tub controls. He identified this manufacturing facility out in Edmonton, and a good friend of his who's doing SIPS build walls where it's manufactured walls, where they're putting in insulation, they're putting in drywall. They came to James with an issue saying, hey, every time we want to go in and do an inspection before we're able to progress forward in the building process, we sometimes have to cut through the drywall to show where the electrical lines are running through and expose out the wire. Well, that's costly in time, money, and then having to go back and fix any patchwork needed to be done. It'd be really nice if there was a way to do wireless switching for lighting control. James saw that opportunity, really took a look at the temperature controls that he was building for the hot tubs that he was making, and it translated really well to be able to say, well, if you just do a radio communication protocol, put a relay that allows power to pass through up in the fixture itself, you don't have to run the switch leg. The switch leg is becoming an accessory item in the installation process that's really not needed.
From hot tubs to SIPs to electrical line control. And, sometimes experience is a benefit and sometimes it's our enemy, right? Like everybody who's in the electrical space and has been for decades is only going to think about the one way to do it. And then the guy who's doing the hot tub controls sees, well, why not just do the simple thing and radio control it? And there you go, you have a business. So tell us more about how Levven's kind of secret sauce is.
Well, we created the Switch Right program, and as I mentioned, we started off in manufacturing to begin with. Been around for 12 years. Everything is designed and manufactured in Canada, or as I like to say, in North America, to be inclusive of what we're doing down here. And we just wanted to build something that was designed for builders to use by the builders. And so it wasn't really a consumer-driven focus. It was, how do we ease the process for building a home altogether, and how do we make that experience of quality and adding additional technology for the builder a better scenario for them. With that, we had to understand the burdens that the builder carries on their shoulders. The external burdens that are pressing down on them is, can I make affordable housing for that entry level? For the upper, more luxury homes, they're looking for more personalization. How much can I make this my home, and that it's not just a production home? And as of recent, sustainability has become a major push here in the US. Now, that's the external factors. Internally, we've got efficiency and quality. Can I build this house in the quickest amount of time with the least amount of issues? That way I can get these homeowners in their homes sooner and deliver a great experience for them as they're buying their home.
Yeah, Don hit the nail on the head. I mean, and Marcos, I think you'd attest to this too. Affordability, efficiency, and quality are any home builders, that's what we look to strive for. And the affordability factor and innovation of something is the hard part, to find that balance. You want to be able to innovate to offer something that no one else is doing to set you apart, but making it still affordable is the challenge for most of us. So, I mean, Levven came out with a great way to do it, to where you get that innovation and the affordability factor.
With all of those burdens, they're looking for additional ways that they can add technology to their home that help out throughout the entirety of it. Now, you take a look at the mechanicals. HVAC has had several innovations that came on in. You take a look at plumbing. We went from copper plumbing to PEX, but lighting control and electrical hasn't had any major innovations. And for the builder to make a decision to change a way that they've done things for the last 30, 40 years, it really has to be an impactful change that starts from the construction and delivers all the way over to the homeowners. And that's where we come in. We've taken a look at the actual construction process, and we've worked with the trades to understand, because we're reducing the amount of wire you're pulling through the wall and pulling out all the switch legs for the home, we could actually drive that build cycle time and reduce a day. With all the material that we pull out, we are able to do a sustainability savings. It's not a major commonplace conversation today, but it will be over the next 2 years on embodied and operational carbon. We've done a life cycle assessment to understand we remove about 100 pounds of embodied CO2, and we're one of the first in the actual mechanicals field to be able to have a study completed and know that we reduce the embodied carbon by such a large amount.
You also have copper savings, right? Just in terms of natural resource, raw material savings, right?
That is correct. The copper savings, the switch box that goes behind the wall, the staples that hold the 14-2, 12-2, or 12-2 wire to the stud, all of that is part of the savings that you see in removing out the plastics and the metals that are utilized. Speaking of the boxes in the wall, there is no hole where the switch goes, so there's less rework. When you think about the installation of a switch today, you might not realize the amount of trades that are involved with that. You have the electrician that runs the wire. You have the drywaller that is cutting out the box that, if you take a look during construction, you see overcuts. They are one of the most common items of rework that is there. You have when the electrician puts a switch behind a door because they didn't know which way the door was going to go ahead and swing open. Well, that's against code. You have to have it on the opposite side. So then you have to rerun the wire, place a switch back over there. That's time, labor, and material that affects all aspects of that. And for the homeowners, it delivers a smart switch at every switch location. And we focus really very smallly on that aspect of the smart, because if home builders just wanted a smart switch, I'm a dime a dozen. But if they're wanting a smart switch that provides all of this operational visibility and improvements to the actual construction practice, I'm the only one that's able to provide those features. And we've simplified the builder experience for the electrician to be able to actually install this. When the electrician goes in and they check in to do their rough, they progress and order the materials from us. We do all the programming in-house. We don't want the electricians out in the field fumbling around trying to press the button to pair this to the switch. We want them to be able to look inside a construction pack and say, okay, I've got all my single poles. Here's all my single poles. They're going to go in this area. Here's all my three-ways. They're going to go in this area. There's no thinking for them involved in actually having to do the installation, because we've taken the hardest part, which is the aspect of smart, and pairing everything, grouping, and having it interconnected is already completed. By the time the builder is able to do the turnover process and have the homeowner download the app and have them understand I've got Levven home, everything's pretty much done for them.
So you're kitted on the delivery. It's coming in a kit with everything labeled for the EEC on where this stuff goes.
It's coming in labeled as single pole, three-way, and four-way. Because if you add additional labels and say this is your living room light, that requires additional thinking. We want the trades to go as quick as possible and remove as many pain points.
And then they have construction drawings or some other sort of work order that gets them to map the type of switch to the specific locations. Is that right?
That's correct. We run red lines and we teach them how to create their own.
Yeah.
And it becomes intuitive. With any new technology, there does require a little bit of training and learning, and there's that learning curve. So for the trades, we offer continuous certification training for new members of their team. We go in, we do spot checks. We don't let the trades know when we're coming into town, and we run an assessment to be able to sit down and say, hey, here's what you guys are doing great. Here's where there's needing to be improvement. And here is what I think the future looks like, talking about R&D and getting feedback real time from our trade partners, because ultimately we're affecting their business the greatest. I go over to the builders and I walk them through, here's what we've seen on our warranty. Here's the amount of issues that we've resolved, the time in which we've done it, and wanting to get the feedback back from your team of what can we do to improve our practices and procedures. I've always gone into every situation, from working at a builder and understanding this to working at an integrator and now at a manufacturer. My favorite thing to say is the best trade is the one you never have to hear from unless you want to. And that is what I strive to be, is the one trade you never have to call on unless you actually just want to talk to me. And we do a quality control with the electrical trades so that they don't have to go in and check to make sure every smart switch is installed correctly. They don't have to run through and identify whether or not a neutral wire was wired incorrectly for each location. By the end of the installation, every switch has been tested and gone through a QA/QC checklist to identify and make sure that the installation process went off without a hitch, which is a really big key thing in doing full home automation and control. And we provide marketing. If the builders would like branded marketing with us, we try to make templates that make it really easy for their teams to go through and have collateral ready and set to go. We have had builders reach out and want personalized collateral, one sheets that are different than what we offer, and we go through, create that, and send it over for them to be able to utilize. Depending on what their brand messaging is and how we can impact that, we want to help create this customized story for them to tell to their home buyers. And lastly, for the homeowners is the actual smart aspect. We talk a lot about the installation, but for the homeowners themselves, each switch in the house is wireless, so where you just take the 2 screws out and move it to wherever you want. I have a family member that just recently became wheelchair bound, where the lighting in the home is farther up where than she can reach. And so I've been able to move those switches throughout the house to be at height level for her as she's wheeling through, and being able to be a little bit more independent, and taking a scenario that would have caused a lot of frustration, hiring an electrician to come in to move those switches down, or installing 50, 60 smart bulbs throughout the home in order to accomplish the same thing. I was able just simply to retrofit this in there and drop the switches down. If we had Levven in the home built right off the bat, it would be as easy as taking the 2 screws off of it and moving it down for her. But because they do have an app to control it, you can now add timers to any switch in the house, create scenes for every switch. My son has his light switch in his bedroom, lighting a path from his bedroom to the hallway to the bathroom. So at night, he's not worried about the monsters coming and getting him, and he can use his monster switch to light the pathway through. The biggest benefit as a parent is the newborn that I have. He's, well, hardly a newborn. He's 8 months now. But getting him down to bed and having a ticking time bomb where I don't want to be making extra movements and I just want to lay him down. We do have Amazon and Google integration there where I'm able to whisper to Alexa and say, Alexa, play lullabies. And I created that scene in the Alexa app to where it automatically dims the light down, turns on lullaby music on Alexa, and I'm not having to do multiple things at one time in order for me to just get the kiddo down for bed. We're so confident in our product that we actually take over the warranty process for everything around the lighting control. If an electrician is needed post-close to move to the homeowner's house and get any kind of repair completed or warranty ticket finished, we actually pay for that truck roll from the electrician to the homeowner's house. Because we're offering the smart aspect and giving the hub to the builders at no additional cost, what that allows for the homeowners to do is connect it to their router, have us do a warranty check-in with the homeowner when there's an issue, and identify what the issue may be. 9 times out of 10, it actually does not require the electrician to go out and visit them, and we're able to handle it remotely. For the instances that do require an electrician visit, we'll pay the truck roll, we'll send out the devices via Amazon directly to the homeowner's home, so it's there and ready for when the electrician is there and present for the visit. With regular lighting, there's nothing smart about it. You're not benefiting in construction practices and implementation. There's no rework savings. It's the driving cause of rework cost for the trades, and they're not backcharging the builder for having to go back and fix something. It's just time, and that time is money for the trade. And there's no sustainability savings. When you take a look at whole home smart switching, whether the builder's paying for it or the homeowner's paying for it as they move in, if they want to be able to do it at every single light switch in the house, it's going to cost somebody something. And that cost reaches about $2,500 when you take 40 switches throughout the house into consideration at a cost of $30 to $50, sometimes $100 per smart switch location. And all that adds up together and drives the cost to the builder or the the builder or the homeowner. With Levven, our goal is to drive this to net neutral. In material cost alone, it is anywhere between $150 to $350 of an increase to install Levven purely in material. But when the trade gets volume and is installing this as a standard feature at every switch location for a builder, they're actually able to bring this at a no-cost difference between traditional lighting because they're seeing the value in rework. They're seeing the value in increasing the labor capacity. The builder is actually seeing the efficiency being driven to reduce a build cycle time. when the trades are actually bringing in 3 guys to do an installation for the home. But it requires a synergy between the builder, the trade, and the vendor to all work towards the most common goal, which is delivering the best product we can to the homeowners to have the best experience possible. And so in order for that to happen, everyone needs to win. The trade needs to have a win. The builder needs to have a win, and the homeowner needs to have a win. And when all 3 people have a value that they're gaining out of this, the trade actually enjoys installing it because they're not being told, you need to do this because I want this in my homes. They have value being delivered into there. The builder sees that and it gains that value of the quality installation and knows, well, my drywaller is complaining less because he doesn't have to find where every switch box is in the house. Or if he accidentally missed one in the past, it's no longer a worry for him. Painters don't have to worry about painting over the switches and backfilling inside the switch box with too much texture.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it creates a tighter envelope for the homeowner.
Yeah.
And I'm the only one that is able to provide all that value to everyone at what we price this out to.
That was great. I mean, it was a very comprehensive picture. I've always loved how focused you all are on the economics. Let's talk to your builder implementers now and see how they're doing with that value proposition and feature set. So Jeremy, why don't you kick us off? I would like you to just talk about the origins of working together with Levven, what attracted you to the product and the company, and then maybe you can tell us how you all made it to start the implementation.
I have a blessing and a curse. I have a big imagination, and sometimes it's on a beer budget, but affordability is the biggest thing, and kind of trying to set ourselves apart, as Marco said earlier. You want to be that builder that isn't doing the same thing as other builders. So I looked at different smart switches and different types of smart home things, but truly the cost of what it would cost not only me and the front end, but my homeowner in the back end just didn't make sense for what we were getting. Speaking to my electricians, and they introduced me to Sean, who actually used to work here in New Mexico. So it was a seamless transition in communication there. And the product was a no-brainer. The smart home aspect of it for my buyers, if they want to use it or if they don't want to use it. And Sean didn't really elaborate on that, but the younger generation, they love the smart home, all the technology. But there's some buyers that we have that don't want to fiddle with it. So that versatility of the product is great too. But there's always a catch, right? That cost that comes with anything new and innovative. Their business model has made it to where it truly is a no-brainer. I mean, if I can get something, save time on the construction side, offer an innovation at no cost, that's what led me to Sean, is I'm able to provide this at truly no cost extra to my buyers.
Yeah. So talk to me about, I see the value proposition for you, but talk to me about how it was to work with Sean and the electrical trades on this from an implementation standpoint. What did that look like? What did it feel like?
Well, the first few were like running into a brick wall. Anything new and innovative that the market hasn't truly seen, especially in our market, it's always hard. You know what I mean? It's something new. No one wants to do anything new. But the first few homes were a bit rough. It was a lot of calls to Sean, what's going on? But his team has been excellent in helping streamline those processes, getting with our inspectors to get them on board, which that was a mission, if you know anything about New Mexico inspectors. And teaching our electricians. Again, we have journeymen who have, it's a wired switch. There's a wire, that's it. You know what I mean? And they're training new guys to try and help the labor force who kind of know what a switch is. So that's the hard part. But Sean's team and the background that a lot of the buyers and people don't see has been amazing in helping that process. Again, anything new, it's always hard, but it's been a kind of, what's the phrase? It's the distance that you're going for. It's the end game. It's not just that sprint. Run. There you go. A long run, not just a sprint. So but it's been, it's been tough, but now we've about a year into this, Sean, I think, and it's seamless at this point.
a lot of investment in kind of getting the process and the planning right up front. Kind of every rocket wobbles off the launch pad, right? And then, but now it's just part of your flow, part of your systems, and it's actually a relief versus the previous way lighting and electrical distribution got done.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like Sean has said earlier, I'll send them a plan. They'll redline it, tell me everything that's wrong in it. They'll fix it for their system, and then my electricians have their plan versus my plan, which is perfect because I plan for wires. You know what I mean? That's how we've always done it.
And are all those like quality control and certification pieces part of the equation now? Are you getting like analytics on that sort of stuff so you can understand whether your electrical trays are performing at a high level with this product?
Absolutely. So we've done a few test homes when we first implemented this. Same floor plan, same layout of lighting, switches, all that. One a wired house, one 11 house, to really get, hey, this one took this amount of time to do. Hey, our HERS rating and blower door on the 11 house was a lot better than a regular traditional wired house. You know, Sean touched on it a little bit, but those analytics has helped us in the selling point and just icing on the cake in the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah, tell me about those marketing materials that Sean walked through. I mean, has that become integral in your marketing message? Is it at the sales center, model home, design center? How's that all playing out?
Absolutely. So Sean and I have been working together to kind of get us tailored stuff. We're working on a nice video to put up with a big model we did. But yeah, we on our switches in our model homes, we have a nice QR code. It makes it very simple. I don't even need a one sheet. We have a couple. But essentially they go, why does this switch look different? Scan that, and it takes them pretty much to that beautiful PowerPoint that Sean just did, and it answers any question they could have in 5 seconds.
Do you get buyers that want to relocate a switch when they do the walkthrough, and you guys are able to easily accommodate that? Or Marcos is laughing. It sounds like you get maybe more requests than you want of that sort, but how does that work? Does it work? Does it happen?
Absolutely, and I'll pass it over to Marcos here to attest to that because he's smiling like I am. But any walkthrough you do, there's about 2 switches that somehow ended up in the wrong spot, and it's a seamless move at this point. And on the custom side, we're actually about to do a VA 88 home that I couldn't offer truly to my buyer without a lot of cost for those lower switches and this type of stuff. Now it's a seamless transition that I can offer to a buyer at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I almost see the thing that occurred to me is like you would almost develop a process where the walkthrough is when you decide what you're going to screw into the wall, right? Because it gives you that flexibility, and depending on the furniture and the lifestyles and whether somebody's disabled or short or really tall, I mean, you can really customize the location of those light switches too. It's pretty incredible and game changing. What else do you have to say? What else was cool? Didn't realize that you would get that benefit sort of thing that's occurred along the way?
Just the positive feedback from buyers. Again, it's something new. You always expect that pushback of, well, how does this work? What's the warranty? What if something breaks? But I truly haven't had that. It's been a great acceptance from our buyers for something new, something cool that no one's doing here in our market. And the warranty side, yeah, I call Sean to talk about hockey. I don't call Sean with problems. So it's been awesome.
Just to rub it in with him. Okay, Marcos, your turn. Why don't you give us a similar, set of facts? Start at the beginning. Why did you seek these guys out, or why did you answer Sean's phone calls after he made his 14th phone call and paired email to you? What was the starting point?
Well, for us, we came across Sean and Levven a couple of years ago, and they absolutely did not make sense for us. The cost was too high for what we were paying, and we basically told him no. He kept calling and hanging us up, but it didn't work for us at the time. But Sean did a great job with his team of figuring out a way to make it more cost effective for the builder. And in turn, when he came back to us and said, this is what we can do, we said, you know what, we'd love to give it a try. And what made it even better for us is our electrician trade was already working in New Mexico. And so Jeremy was the one who had to run through some brick walls and kind of get it figured out what was going to happen. But for us, the trade knew what was going on. It was a seamless switch. And honestly, we haven't had one problem with any of the houses we've been putting up. So unfortunately, Jeremy had to take the brunt end of it. But it made it a really easy transition for our guys to come in and figure out what's going on with all the houses. As far as everything else that Jeremy kind of touched on, he's hitting you around the nail. The feedback from the buyers has been tremendous. I think the most difficult aspect that we face is some of the older buyers who have difficulties with technology in general. Sometimes they're a little bit slower to get attuned to downloading the app and getting in there and switching out the switches. But all of our sales team also went through the training. So our sales team has the app downloaded on their phone. They're able to show prospective buyers how the app works. They've got all the model homes tuned up to their phone. So when a buyer's in the house, our guys will turn off all the lights at once. And the buyers kind of freak out about that power outage and then turn it right back on. And it's kind of our intro to, hey, this is what we're giving you guys, the power to automate your house at all times from wherever you are. So it's been a really good selling point for our guys. Our guys are trained up well enough that if somebody has issues, they can kind of assist and help out. And it just gives them another opportunity to touch base with the buyer. You know, we're always looking for referrals down the line. So the more our guys get to talk to happy homeowners, the better it is for us in the long run. And then for us, all the marketing stuff that Sean talked about is right on point. You know, we don't call it a nightlight anymore. We call it a night switch. We talk about, hey, if you got young kids, you got a night switch that you can install right next to their bed. Makes them feel comfortable in the middle of the night. We call it a safety switch. Levven sells a visor clip that you can put one of those switches on. So we market a safety switch to especially, you know, younger females who come home from work. When they pull up, they can click it just like a garage opener, and all the exterior lights on their house light up. And all of a sudden, you've got a pathway that you know illuminates the front of your house, and you feel a little bit safer. You can do the front yard, backyard. If you hear something in the middle of the night, you can hit your switch, and everything turns on in the house, and you can make sure you're good. So we market a safety switch. I mean, it's just from that standpoint. If it's saving you money as a builder and you're able to offer all these smart features to a buyer, why wouldn't you do it?
Are you using some of those marketing assets that Sean walked through in terms of the visual marketing assets or embedding stuff in your email messaging and websites and stuff?
Oh, 100%. Our guys send out marketing material to all their realtors and all their contacts constantly. And that's one of the big pushing, what's one of the big selling points that we're pushing right now. I'd prefer it if no one else in our market jumped on board with Levven because it helps us stand out. But I know it's coming. We know that, you know, we've got a small little window here where we're the only builder doing it, and we know it's coming. So this is something that we're pushing out to everybody.
You're on the sales and marketing side, so you're a front end guy, but you sound like you're really connected in the company as the quality control mechanisms and kind of the trade partner collaboration. What visibility do you have into that and how that's working for Carefree?
So I'm the guy that handles everything that comes to the door. I'm like the trash compactor, you know, whatever it is that comes to the door, any issues, any problems, good or bad, it goes through me first before it goes anywhere else in the company. And I have a lot of conversations with a couple of our trades constantly, and then there's follow up on, you know, getting appliances delivered and getting this in. There's always going to be that issue you have with the trades, but I can honestly say Sean's the person that like Jeremy said, I call about hockey or football, or, you know, hey, let's talk about the Cowboys, you know, stuff like that. It's not really something where I'm calling them and then saying, hey, what's going on with this house? We're having an issue with this. If anything has even gone on, their team's taking care of it behind the scenes. I'm not even aware of it.
Sean, are there any questions that you want to ask either of these guys?
Honestly, I'm more afraid of the fact that I'm in their markets too often and bothering them too much, because I'll be like, hey, I'm here. I just got done doing spot checks. Can we go grab lunch? Well, I just saw you like 2 or 3 weeks ago. What do you mean? I've been on that side of the table. I know what it's like on the builder side. And I'm always constantly learning. I have my lenses on from the aspects that I've seen it at. And I was a competitor to Jeremy whenever I was in Albuquerque. And so coming to this side of the table, working as a vendor manufacturer and taking that when I looked at expanding my team, I didn't look at another tech company or another vendor. I looked at the builders and said, okay, I need to get more insights from the builder side. And so my sustainability and account manager, her name's Vanessa Wright. She actually came from Pulte, Mattamy. She was a sustainability manager. She swung a hammer. She was a field manager, actually building the houses out there. Yeah. And those are the kind of the individuals that I want being able to talk with the trades, work with the builder, because when we understand the pains and we understand the day-to-day, and we're able to work with the builders and have the sympathy and empathy that we do, it creates a seamless process, and we're able to be more proactive in overcoming things.
I think what you just went through, it just points to one of my wrap-up points would be, you have a really cool product. I mean, James, he saw something there and he created something that really is a game changer in terms of its functionality. But a lot of manufacturers stop at just having the product, and they don't think through the full process supports that are required. And one of the process supports is, does this work financially for the builder? And you guys have done more work on that than almost any manufacturer I can think of, to make sure that the literal value proposition with the dollar signs is really good for the builder. And then to do on top of that things like these quality control and trade contractor management tools and programs is even another one of those steps in terms of process supports that, really distinguishes you guys and puts you, to some extent, in a league of your own. So that's my wrap up from this session. It's been really interesting to hear the value proposition, Sean, as you went through it. And I've talked to the company a few years ago, and I think it's really refined, but it's been extra great to talk to Jeremy and Marcos and hear about how it's going for them in the field and that it's going well. And we're going to close off, Sean. Tell people how they should get in touch with you and how you will start to work with them to evaluate whether Levven's right for them.
Absolutely. Feel free to visit us at levven.com. That's LEVVEN.com. You can reach out to me directly. My email is svo@levven.com. And we're expanding, we're growing there, and we'd love to be in every market that we can. So if you're just wanting curiosity questions answered, or if you want us to come out and visit and walk your construction alongside with you, I'd rather be out in the field in the construction than in an office.
And you can come see them at our summit too, in November in Pasadena. Guys, thanks so much for sharing. Really appreciate it. We'll see you next time with Builder Innovator Webcasts.